Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been to the channel before, welcome to the channel. And today we are revisiting the ST1 Tease guitar. It's got my prints all over it from playing it so much. This is one of my main guitars since I got it. So, some things, when I got this guitar, it had a bad pickup. So Torsten gave it to me for that reason, to repair it for the channel, the owner of Tease Guitars, Torsten. So he gave me a new pick guard with all the electronics. So I had put the Pearl pick guard, swapped it out with the Tease pick guard, and these are all Tease electronics. So everything else here is original. I did put some locking tuners on it. And when I set this guitar up, I kind of knew what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing. So some of these nut slots have not been taken care of. They need to be filed down a little bit. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to file down these, and then we're going to drop the saddles down so that I can have a little better action. So let me reposition the camera to work on the nut, and we will go from there. Please give me a like, subscribe, and leave a comment when you're done watching the video. Let me know what you think of the guitar, what you think of the content. I appreciate you watching. We'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and I think we got a good angle here, so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I have my nut files. You'll notice on the nut files, this is the 1, 2, 5, 3, and 6. So I got these on Temu, and they work pretty good because I've used them recently here. And your thicker side, of course, is going to be your larger number, and your thinner side will be the smaller number. So what we're going to do here is we are going to take these strings and move them over. I'm actually going to loosen these up because we're going to file this nut down a little bit too, because these strings are in here a little too deep. But we don't want to take them down too much. Just enough so that we can work. Use one of these down here to hold the strings back. Maybe two. We'll move them out. Just want these out just enough. So we got all of those. And we'll little bit more. We're going to get started down here with 1. Now, these are bone nuts, so you don't have to go crazy on them with these nice files. And you always want to cut that on a little bit of an angle so that it angles with the string on the downstroke. I think that one's going to be good. I'm going to loosen this up a little bit more. I want to take this one, bring it back up. No string buzz. And that should be perfect. What we're going to do now, we're going to press down on this hard, and this paper should just barely fit under there. Now, if we can fold this over and fit 2 of them, it's still too high. So we're going to fold that over. This is the easiest way to do it when you don't have the proper tool. That's why I'm showing you this way. So that you can still get underneath this. So we can file that a little bit more. I'm just trying to get an idea here so that I can take this nut down a little bit. And it didn't need much more. Now we shouldn't be able to get this underneath here anymore. Yep, now it's hard to push it. Okay, so like I was saying, it's hard to push this in here. I was trying to get you a better angle. So that's hard to get underneath there now. If you push that, you can hear it if you listen. That's perfect. So now when you hold that down, there's hardly any bounce. Very, very light. So that one's done. But in the meantime, now that I've done that, I'm going to file the nut down. And I'm going to use my flat file for that. I'm going to take this down a little bit. And we're going to do this because there's the angle on this nut. Try to keep my big bill of my hat out of the way here. So we're going to look at that, blew it right off there. Get that in there a little tighter. I jumped. That's my PTSD from the service. Okay. So now I just want to see how that sets back in there. So you can see that those are sitting really, really in there. So you take your E string, well, we can put all these back kind of a little bit up there. You'll notice they're all sitting deep down. Get a good angle on that there. Let's see. Trying to look at the screen and get you a good angle. Let's try to do it from the side. So if you look at that, get back in there. They're sitting deep down in the nut. You don't want them that deep in the nut. You want them up, sticking out of the nut with just a little hair. So now that I've showed you the technique of rolling that and filing the nut, I am going to complete that so that the video isn't an hour long. And then I will be back shortly and I will show you the end product. Okay, so now that I filed the nut down, the strings are right at the top, but you don't want them to be able to jump out either. So that's in a better shape. I just checked all the strings, so that's when you're going to do your test like this to see if you have any bounce. You should have almost none, very, very little. You got to push down on these really hard too. Now this one's got a little bounce still. So this one needs just a little bit more. Now you want to have these strings to tension. So you want to tune it and have them to tension and then just move them over. So again, 3 and 6. The bigger side is going to be your 6. Okay. And you only need to do a couple passes. 4, 3, 4, just little by little. Now, we're perfect. So I will attempt to show you again. So when you hold this, good angle on the guitar here. So when you hold this all the way down, very little movement, but enough that you can get that small piece of paper underneath, just to post it. So that's how they all are now. So this should be a better playing guitar already. No buzz. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to lower the saddle. So I'm going to reposition the camera and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I want to give you a really good look at the nut. So you see where those strings are not quite coming out, but they're right at the top of the nut. They can even be sticking out just a little bit more, kind of like that. But you want them in that nut because you don't want them to pop out, because then you'll have all kinds of tuning issues. All right, we'll get on to the next part of the video. All right, so here is what we are going to do now. The next thing we are going to do is we're going to lower all these saddles. So I measured my string height, and I want to go down about 2 turns. So you're going to take your Allen key, and when you turn the Allen key, you're going to turn it counterclockwise, one half and one half. One half and one half. One half and one half. Oop, I missed that one. Get these a little more even. One half, full turn. Wherever that position is, just turn it one full turn. I like to do it in halves so that I don't mess up the position. And you always start that way because you don't want to go too much, because now you're also going to have to, when you do this, you may have to reset your intonation, because if you cut that nut slot, okay. So now we're pretty low. Those are pretty high now. If you look down the neck, you can see how high those saddles are. Those screws are in the saddles. So what I would do if I were down at Tease and doing a setup, these would come out if it was a pro setup, and we would change the screws out to the short screws so these wouldn't be sticking up. So now we will retune it and then try it out. Okay, so now that we're in tune, we'll check our string height at the 12th fret. And string height at the 12th fret is at about 1.8 on the 6. About the same all the way across the board. So these got to come down a little bit more. So we're slamming these down to the bottom. Get in there. You want to be careful because you don't want to strip those out. And I've got the wrong glasses on, so I'm having a little bit of a harder time. Because I got doing something else in between the video segments. I'm just going to check that before I tighten everything up. So that's about where I want them. This one's up a little bit, G string is up a little bit higher. So we're going to bring that down just a little bit more. Sometimes you got to even them out. So this is a little bit of a process. And now when I get them down here, now I'm looking to just even them all up across the board with the shape of the neck. You want your saddles fairly even. But if you do it at a slow pace like that, you're not going to mess it up. Go too far. I think you have to keep messing with it. No fret buzz. We are right where we want to be. Take a look down the neck into the light. Make sure everything's good. Just a tiny bit of neck relief. And we're good to go. We'll tune it up, come back, and I'll just do a quick playthrough. All right, guys, so we are in business. You'll notice all of these are very high. These things are slammed down. But I got the action I wanted. And it is all I'm just gonna do a quick acoustic. So she is in good working order, feeling good. All right, back to good. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think of the guitar. We'll see you next time.